Hey, Inspire Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers. It's John Nolan here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being here. It's wonderful to see you all. Let's start with our mantra of the Inspired Live Streams. We're healthy, wealthy, whole, and free. And I want to welcome everybody on Rumble and on YouTube here. I see some beautiful comments already. Sila is here and Big T, Request Truth, Persistent Apparition Kitty. And then we got Black Sky. Good to see you, my friend, from Portland. Wonderful. Jan is here. Sissy, good to see you. Spiritual Champion, welcome. Maria is here. Kay, Jerry, thank you all for joining us today. This is really important and very close to our hearts, what we want to talk about today. And we want to make one thing clear off the bat. This is not metaphorically speaking. This is literally a drug that has been sweeping the truth and freedom movement and really affecting a lot of people negatively, I believe. But of course, we're going to point to some solutions to this. And I want to jump right into it. And again, I mean this literally. This is designed. It's a designer drug. And it's commonly known as hopium. And the reason why they chose the word hopium is because opium is such a highly addictive drug, and that's why they chose the word hopium. And what do I define as hopium? Hopium is the projected ideas and perspectives that give people a feeling and sense of euphoria, information that makes them feel euphoric, right? Then it is information that points to a highly positive outcome in the future that is already predetermined, and it includes something that people call white hats or positive players in the background. Basically, how this messaging has been coming through the truth and freedom movement for the past years is, here's what's happening. There's a group of great people that have infiltrated the deep state and the government all over the world. And this group is making mass arrests. They are fixing things for us. They will implement the new financial system. And these white hats will change the course of history. And I want to make one thing clear too. I'm not making light of that. I do know there are very, very good people in all positions throughout governments, corporations, intelligence communities, military. There are fantastic people in there that are having very, very positive impact. And yes, there are operations we have no idea about that benefit us. Yes, let's take that off. What I'm speaking about is a carefully crafted messaging style that was developed secretly over decades and centuries in secret societies and intelligence communities, because they've studied human psychology and they have studied how we operate, how our hormonal system works, what we react to when the dopamine gets out. And they have basically developed a crowd control program. And that crowd control program includes all the messaging through the mainstream media. That's the mockingbird media that will tell you all the stupid stuff they're speaking about constantly. There's messaging through politics, politicians, and governments. There's messaging that comes from entertainment. And then there is messaging that aims to control the opposition, the truth, freedom movement, the resistance, whatever you want to call it. And what they do is they don't want to oppose you in saying you're wrong, you have the wrong ideas. No. Their aim is at infusing well-meaning people, channels and speakers and podcasts with information that has a lot of truth in it, but then it leads them down a wrong path, and that's the hopium path. And the hopium says, here's a group of people that's going to take care of it. Don't you worry. You don't need to do anything. Don't get too action oriented. There's no need. They're the white hats, and they will do it. Just trust the plan. And that is what has stifled a lot of otherwise wonderful movements. And I don't want to bash anyone. I don't want to say that anyone is bad for doing this. I do believe that we all at times fall for some of these tactics because they are so efficient. Because the number one field in the history of all intelligence services, of all secret societies, as a matter of fact, of all corporations, the number one field they study the most is the human psyche and how we operate and how they can manipulate it. That's what they do. That's what they have been doing. And hopium is a drug. And here's why I call it a drug. The way they design it is much like Zuckerberg and his friends are designing Facebook feeds, Instagram feeds, TikToks, Reels, stories, all that. It's all designed to have a specific psychological effect and a specific hormonal response, right? That's what they do. They want to keep you on there. And this hopium is designed to create a euphoric state. Again, a group that you can belong to. We know, we're in the know. We have the secret intel. We know at this date this is going to happen. Mass arrests, Gitmo, public this, public that. None of it has happened, by the way. No date has ever come true. Again, I'm not saying that there aren't positive operations happening, because I personally know there are. What I'm saying is the extent, the magnitude, all of it, we have no way of verifying it. And it is only aimed at triggering us emotionally so we stay passive. And what we are saying is, take the information that you have gathered, take the research that you have gathered, the intuitions that you have gathered, take it and become proactive. What we always wanted to do in this movement, and what so many others have always wanted to do, and we talked off camera at length about this to people like David Icke, Max Egan, and other great researchers and activists. What their aim is, what our aim is to help empower people, inspire people to take action in their own lives, withdraw energy from everything that enslaves them, and put that energy into everything that empowers them. Self-sustainability, personal responsibility, becoming, off the grid lifestyles, growing your own food, having your community around you, creating an alternative, parallel economical system, having healers and a parallel medicinal system and medicine system that allows you to remain healthy. We are all about creating personal responsibility, or moving back into that kind of lifestyle. And the hopium crowd that is pushing this agenda oftentimes has fallen for that not verifiable and not very actionable, because it still says, here is an entity outside of you that will bring you the solution. And that's just not something it's not feasible, and it isn't empowering. And I would much rather say, I accept that there are people doing great things in powerful positions. I accept that just as much as I accept that there are bad people doing bad things in powerful positions. Let them do it. Let them do it. They will not signal to us what they're doing under no circumstances. If these people are as professional as we assume they are, if they've all gone through military education, intelligence education, and very specific programming, so they would never tip their hand. They would never let us know what's going to happen. They would never say, hey, here, how this is going to play out. It's just not feasible to do it, because you tip off the opposition, you tip off the enemy. That's just not how secret operations work. Misinformation and disinformation are a huge part of it. And so I love the people in this beautiful movement that look at this from all perspectives. What I would suggest and what I would encourage everyone to do is, when you catch yourself getting really euphoric about something you have simply no control over, that you cannot influence and that you cannot be a part of, then let that euphoria channel it into something that you can do. Take that feeling and do something. Put your hands in the soil, or create your own podcast, or create a community, start a little farmer's market in your town, whatever that is. Do things that are actionable and that lead you and your loved ones and your community into greater self-sustainability. That's the most important thing about this. And of course, we can all go, we can do whatever we feel inspired to do, go into political positions, run for something, become the mayor of your town, or even be in a city council. There are many things we can do. But I want to encourage you to really examine yourself, observe yourself. when this hopium thing happens, it is literally, and I want to make one thing clear: the addiction that people have today, the digital addictions they have today, whether that's the social media or porn or um, whatever it is that's happening on the internet, those are real addictions. They function just like chemical physical addictions because they have the same hallmarks. People produce the same kinds of hormones, the same areas in your brain are affected, the same negative effects. It is exactly the same as taking a physical pill. It has the same effects on you. And so hopium is just as dangerous as fentanyl and meth and whatever, coke, the other drugs. It's really, really important that we pay attention to this and that we realize this. And hopium is not hope. Hope is something very different. And I would go as far as say we've moved past hope. We know that we are the ones who can change all of this. We know that we're the ones who can ultimately transform how we live, and by default help our immediate surroundings to transform. And then that has a ripple effect, that has a 100th monkey effect. We're very close to that tipping point, but that's literally what we need to stay focused on. Don't fall for the traps like it's going to happen on March 11th. No, it's going to happen on July 4th. No, it's going to happen on October 24th. No, don't fall for these things. You can't announce these things. These people can't announce these things. And there are specific groups created within certain elements of intelligence and counterintelligence and military that their sole job is to create dis and misinformation campaigns and put these things into, yes, the alternative media as well. And again, I'm not bashing any host. I'm not bashing any podcaster or anyone. I appreciate all the work that everyone does in this movement. But oftentimes we're all being played, and we need to see through the fog. We need to really tune in, and that's where your connection with God, with the Creator comes in, where meditation and prayer come in, introspection comes in, and really check in so we stay empowered. And the number one thing, how you know that you're empowered, is you're taking positive action steps forward and you're improving on your situation continually. One thing at a time, baby steps. Just wanted to come out with this message. This is dangerous, but if we catch ourselves and if we correct our behavior, then we can take the right action steps. That's why moving forward, we will continue to cooperate with proactive movements, people, organizations. That's why organizations like Food Forest Abundance are so dear to our heart, because this is proactive. Growing your own food, living the permaculture lifestyle, having that in place as a community, family, or individual is so empowering. We will continue to bring more information on how to get off the grid. Tomorrow, we're actually presenting a beautiful interview with Deb and Bear Lando from Alpha Vedic. They've lived off the grid for over 50 years, and they're teaching now others how to do it. They have an amazing spiritual perspective, practical perspective, amazing patriots, amazing corporate company that they also run. And we're going to continue to highlight this and to bring more knowledge that allows us all to become practically proactive and move in the right directions. Please don't fall for the hopium. All right, tribe, thank you so much for tuning in. We love you. We appreciate you. And we'll be back with you again very, very soon.